Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the National Naval Aviation Museum. I'd like to introduce our director here that has set up these wonderful book readings on Tuesdays. We have Diana Hayden here. She's our Director of Education. And I appreciate her asking me to come help out on this. So here we have some kids coming now. Hi, everybody. Welcome, everyone, parents and children. Everybody, welcome.
You want to sit there by Tucker?
Yeah. And if you're here, I would like you to come up to your child, come up and stay with them, behind them, if you will, because you may be put to work here a little bit. You may be interactive too. So we'll go ahead and get started. What is being featured this week is this book right here. Goggles. Look here. Goggles, the bear who dreamed of flying. And here we are in a National Naval Aviation Museum getting to read this book. Is that exciting or what? Have you ever had a dream that you wanted to be something or do something? He wants to fly. He's dreaming of flying. Tell us about your dream. Oh, to
be a YouTube streamer.
A YouTube streamer and make money off it. There you go. How about that? How about this little one? What is the name here? Besides Surf's Up. That's yours right here, right?
This is Felix.
What do you think the dream would be? What do you? Oh, I think he knows. What's your dream? What do you dream about? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Planes?
Yeah. Something about planes. And hi, how are you? What's your name?
I'm Tessa.
You're Sassa?
No, Tessa.
Say that again.
Tessa.
Oh, Tessa. What is your dream? You ever dreamed of something you want to be like he's dreaming of flying?
I want to be an actor and a singer and a dancer.
An actor, a singer, and a dancer. Wow, that's fabulous. Well, would y'all like to hear about Goggles and what he wants to be and what his dream was about? We're going to get started here. Everybody raise your hand. Yay! Yay!
You ready?
Now what he wants to do, what he's dreaming about is he wants to dream of flying. And you see all these airplanes here in the museum. Somebody else dreamed of wanting to fly that is able to fly all those planes. Isn't that nice to be able to see all these here and talk about a book of dreaming of flying? Yeah, so you can stop, after we stop this book, you can go back in and walk out and see all these airplanes and think about all the people that their dream was to fly. And they are actually flying those planes and did. So that's exciting. Now when we talk about flying, I want you to show me, what would it be if you were flying? Would it be like this? Would that be it? How would you fly if you're pretending? Pretend to fly. Show me how you pretend to fly. Like this kind of? What about this? Mom, what would you do? How would you fly? Oh, there you go. That's it. That's one of these right here. That's one of these fighters, one of these jets. How would you pretend to fly?
I'd fly like a jet.
Like a jet. All right. Well, we're going to get started here, and we have a lot of things that are on this table that you're going to hear about in the book. The name of the book is Goggles, the Bear Who Dreamed of Flying. Okay. I'm going to hold the book up and read it to you here as we go along. There once was a very small bear who dreamed of flying. Everyone told him he was too little to fly, but he always wore, what are these? Goggles. He wore those goggles to sleep. In the daytime, he always wore the goggles because just in case anybody changed their mind that he was big enough to fly, he'd be ready. He'd have his goggles on. And that is why everybody called him Goggles. Yeah, kind of looks like this guy. What do you think? Kind of looks like him, don't you think? Look at here, the next page. He dreamed about flying at breakfast. He dreamed about flying when tucked in bed. Look at him in bed. He's dreaming about flying. Look at him at breakfast. He's dreaming about flying. And he even dreamed about flying in the bathtub. How about that? He always took a jar of honey with him. And why is it honey? Because bears like honey, yes. So he always carried the honey with him. He knew that if he started flying, he would be so hungry, and what would he have to eat? Honey. Look at here. But even though Goggles was a very small bear, he knew a very big secret. His grandparents were Groville and Wilma Wright. They had built an airplane, and they called it the Wright Flyer. And guess what that is? This is the one that you can go see in the museum after we read this book. This is the first airplane, similar to the Wright brothers' plane that he's talking about, that is the first aircraft. It is the A1 Triad. It was made in 1911, and Lieutenant Theodore Ellison was the Navy's first aviator. Now, if you're from Pensacola, anybody from Pensacola? Ellison Field, you remember Ellison Field? Out by Pace and Milton and out in that area. That's what that was named after, was the first Navy aviator. So the plane that Goggles is talking about, see it right there? Look out, this is the first plane that we have on display right here in the museum. See how it's almost the same. So you can go actually see the plane that was first. But in the story, his grandmother and grandfather is actually designing their own plane. They wanted to be the first bears to fly, but they couldn't find an airplane fuel. They couldn't find the fuel that would work. Why would they need fuel? So it could fly, so it could go. They couldn't find the fuel that would make it work on the first try. Look at here. Oh my, it crashed into a tree on the first time. On the second try, it crashed into a haystack. On the third try, it ran into a pond. Splosh! Crash! Splash! Because it didn't have any fuel. You have to have fuel, don't you, to make an airplane? What do you have to have for a car? Fuel. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, gasoline. So they were trying to figure out what fuel could they have for this airplane to make it work. Now here's what they thought about. If they could just find the right fuel, they tried a couple of things. Guess what they tried? They tried lemonade. Do you think it worked on the airplane? Nah, didn't work. They tried a custard, like a pudding, like a banana pudding. They tried that. Do you think that worked? No. The ketchup, how about that? Here's what they tried. Ketchup. Do you think we should put that in the airplane? No. And guess what else they tried? They tried, what is this? Mustard. Oh, that didn't work either. Yuck, 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 yuck. So then, guess what? Goggles thought, I wonder what else I could use to put in the airplane for fuel. And what do you think a bear would think about trying? Honey. Yes, that's right. So see, he tried lemonade, he tried custard, he tried ketchup, and he tried chocolate. He even tried chocolate and put it in the tank to make the airplane run. Did that work? No. So guess what? What do you think's coming next on the next page? What do you think he thought of using? Yes, look, honey. That's what he decided to use. And that's what worked. There's the honey. The golden honey, yes. That worked. At last, the plane was going to fly. So the great day arrived for the first flight of the honey-powered Wright Flyer. Takeoff was at sunrise. There was a big crowd, and they were all invited to watch. Look at all the people that were there. They wanted to see the the flying plane. Now that he had honey, he could get it to fly. Let's see what happens next. Guess what? He wanted to fly too. He wanted to be in the airplane. So everyone said that it was too dangerous. Remember, he's with his grandma and his grandpa. They said, no, you cannot fly. It's too dangerous. So you know what he did? He snuck in the back of the airplane and he scooped down and he hid so nobody knew he was in the airplane. Oh my goodness. So Grandpa Groville started the engine. The propeller whizzed and it whirled and the Wright flyer began to move faster and faster. And where was he? Yes, he was hiding in the plane. So now here he is taking off with the plane. Would you be scared if that was you?
Dad doesn't have a buckle.
He doesn't have a what?
He doesn't have a buckle.
Yeah, he doesn't have a buckle. Yeah, exactly. The plane soared into the sky. Look how high he's going. Remember, where is he? He's hiding inside the plane in the back of it. And they don't know he's there. Grandma and Grandpa don't know. And look, he's going higher and higher it flew. And soon they were around the clouds. But it was so beautiful. Look how beautiful that is with all the clouds. Have you ever looked up in the sky and seen a beautiful day with the pretty clouds? Well, he was seeing all that. He was up so high. Uh-oh. Next was disaster. The Wright flyer ran out of honey. Oh no. And it began to fall from the sky. Oh no. If only they had more fuel, more honey. What are they going to do? Oh no, he's falling. Suddenly, to the rescue. Goggles popped up from his hiding place. They didn't even know he was there. He knew where the emergency honey was. And look at him popping out of the back. And see, they're looking like, oh, who's that? They didn't know he was in the plane. So, Grandma had no time to be shocked to see him. She quickly poured his honey into the fuel tank. Gonna pour more honey in the plane. The engine sputtered, and then it soared back, and it started going vroom up into the sky. It went back up. He's flying again with honey in the fuel tank. Look at the crowds, all the people. They're going, hooray! Let's hooray for him. Everybody, come on, hooray! Hooray! The honey worked. He didn't crash. He came down, and he flew safely back to the bear field and landed in front of a cheering crowd. Let's cheer for him. Hooray! Woo! Grandpa announced that Goggles had saved the day. The crowd cheered even more loudly. But he just smiled and waved. He was happy his grandparents were safe and they didn't crash, right? And what's more, he was one of the Wright bears, the first bear to fly. So here's back to our Navy's first aircraft with our first Navy aviator, Theodore Ellison. He was the first Navy aviator to fly. And who was the first bear to fly? Goggles. All right. So that is the end, and here is an actual picture of the Wright brothers that truly flew the first aircraft, other than Goggles. Goggles was always, though, the first what? The first bear. And how did he make it fly? With honey. And who makes honey? The honeybee. Yeah, so we have honeybees to thank for the honey that flew the airplane. That's why the bear who dreamed of flying actually did it. So remember, when you're dreaming, you may really do your dreams. You may really make them happen. And why we have bears up here is I want you to notice something. The bears are all different. What kind of, is this, what bear is it? Is that a girl or a boy? That's a girl bear. That's a girl bear. Here's a marine bear. Here's a navy bear. Here's another little girl bear. And here's a guy bear. Could all of them fly someday and be a pilot? Yes. The girl bears, the guy bears, all the branches of the military, everybody that's associated can be a pilot someday. So that can be your dream, to fly, just like Goggles did. Now for a real finale treat here, thanks to our education director, we have a set of the coloring book copies from the book itself. And we're going to hand those out to you. And you can go home and color these, and those are the pages right from the book. And there's quite a beautiful set here of different ones. I'll give these to